To the censorship report on Mike of the Night, and I believe wholeheartedly that all these distractions that are happening all over the world are happening for a reason, and they are bringing on a tsunami of censorship that's going to basically blanket us while everyone's being distracted, and they're basically censoring people from saying or taking a certain side. We're going to see more and more censorship going forward, and I believe that they're gonna just tsunami a blanket over us. And here we go, folks. So let's get into some headlines. And Bill Gates and George Soros backed Aspen Institute hit with censorship collusion lawsuits. We covered this on Mike in the Night in the 400s, 450. We discussed this on Mike in the Night. AFL is expanding its lawsuit, originally filed against the Election Integrity Partnership, EIP. And this is the George Soros-backed Aspen Institute, and these guys are in a lot of hot water, and they are going to do everything to censor us. Now, watch what happens here. UN program pushes digital public infrastructure as EU and Gates Foundation pushes for digital ID by 2030. And we've been talking about, we even have entire videos taken down from 2017 talking about digital IT, digital prison, digital landscape, digital, that was recently taken down for, medical misinformation. So, 2030. And this is on Reclaim the Net if you guys want to check it out. And the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, which we brought up multiple times, is launching a project based on what's known as Digital Public Infrastructure, aka DPI. And the overreaching justification explanation of these activities is reaching the UN's Sustainable Development Goals. Again, they want the Sustainable Goal BS we've been talking about here on the channel. What UNDP is supposed to be doing is pretty clear from its name, but what DPI itself is the buzzword used from somewhat interesting, alarming concord by organizations such as the UN, but also European Union, the Gates Foundation, of course, and of course, I actually said that, yeah. The World Economic Forum is never quite out of any such picture. So there it is. Digital public infrastructure that's coming, folks, is essential for countries to improve their economies as well, being of people. Basically, they're doing this to censor us so that we don't have any platforms to go on to, right? And the DPI is supposed to do, in the best case scenario, is aid development in a number of ways. Those looking deeper into platitudes and corporate speak coming from these organizations, however, are dismissing the term and the policy as a ruse to speed up introduction to digital IDs and payments with a deadline of 2030. So there it is. Their job is to usher in, fund countries with obviously money, to get them to get these projects in place to actually enslave us digitally, digital enslavement. So FBI and DHS heads are slammed for pressuring big tech to censor Americans. Now, if once America goes dark, I think it's game over for the rest of the world. And during a recent Senate Homeland Security Committee on threats to the homeland, the heads of the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, and Federal Bureau of Investigation were blasted for their agencies' roles in pressuring big tech companies to censor Americans. And it goes on to, when it came for Paul to question the DHS security, Alejandro Mayorkas and FBI Director Christopher Wray, he continued to grill from the way their agencies pushed social media companies to silence Americans. He questioned Mayorkas on the DHS meetings with social media companies to discuss content moderation, which were documented in the federal government in social media censorship case Missouri versus Biden. And I think we covered this too. Mayorkas framed these meetings as a public-private partnership to speak out of threats to the homeland so that those companies are alert of them. But Paul noted that the DHS has flagged content about COVID and Hunter Biden laptop story and more to social media companies for censorship. So the Kentucky senator then asked Wray similar questions. Wray admitted that the FBI is still having some interaction with social media companies. So they are, of course, working towards censoring Americans. So there it is, Dr. Dr. Rand Paul, not Ron Paul, Rand Paul. And this man is definitely a true American hero.
Did the FBI pay Twitter money to moderate content moderation?
I'm not aware of us paying money to moderate content there or anywhere else.
What was the $3
Bullshit.
million for that the FBI gave that's been revealed in Twitter files, which has been characterized by those writing the Twitter files as payment for content moderation? Basically, they said Twitter, you guys were meeting with them all the time, and you had them taking down so many posts. They said, well, gosh, it's a lot of work. Why don't you pay us? And so you did. You paid them $3 million. Are you aware of the payment?
Well, I'm not aware of that specific payment, but I can tell you that when it comes to payments, going back well over 4 decades, when we are required by federal law, when a company, like in this instance a provider, goes through expenses to produce information, we're required to reimburse them for those expenses. And so I think that a lot of the questions...
He's just going off topic. He's not even sticking to the topic there. You see how it happens? China fines Alibaba for allowing vulgar keywords. And yeah, this is getting intense in China. And last Mike in the Night, we actually covered for you guys that China fined a guy 40 or 20,000 US dollars for using a VPN. I can't remember if it was 20 or 40,000 US dollars for using a VPN. We covered it last week or the week before. That was one of our big headlines. And China's internet is facing a sharp bout of censorship imposed by the nation's internet regulatory body as it clamps down heavily on content regarded as vulgar. Alibaba search engine Quark and the live streaming platform NetEase are the latest victims of this restrictive campaign, being penalized and reprimanded for content deemed inappropriate by the Chinese authorities. So the Chinese could basically create laws and say what they deem as vulgar and dangerous. And people with VPNs, take note. Russia widens its VPN block. And as a strategic maneuver to tighten its control over the internet access, Russia has intensified its campaign against VPNs. Not merely the use, but also the promotion or discussion of these privacy and anti-censorship tools. These recent developments expose deeper concerns about internet censorship and its implementations for the fundamental principle of free speech. In the spring of 2023, as a part of an elaborate communications campaign, Russia issued public service announcements denouncing VPNs. Fast forward to the summer, these seemingly harmless ads took a stark transition into concrete policy changes. President Vladimir Putin endorsed regulations demanding select internet platforms, including social media, to verify the identity of users, potentially via their passports, providing guidance on using VPNs to access banned internet resources was deemed a criminal act under these new edicts. So more and more censorship is breaking out, and it's going to keep breaking out because these governments are just losing grip on everything. And Rumble with the Rumble Heroes. Yeah, let's get some audience clapping. Yeah, Rumble Heroes. Yeah. Rumble opens free live streaming to all, removes 5 follower minimum. So what they want is to bring more people over so Rumble could push your Rumble Heroes on you. In a move that demonstrates its commitment to fostering a vibrant creative community, video platform Rumble has announced that it will open up live streaming to all of its users, enabling the previous requirement for the channels to have minimum 5 subscribers. Previously, in order to live stream on Rumble, users had to reach a threshold of 5 subscribers. So there it is right there, folks. Unfortunately, we are leaving Rumble. We just can't compete with the Rumble Heroes. And we're moving over to DLive for a year or two, and then we'll just probably find another platform by then and keep moving around if I'm still alive.